Okay. Well, hi and good evening, everyone. Tonight we have a special guest. His name is Larry, and I'm going to let him say his last name. He is an artist in Pittsburgh, and it looks like he does a lot of the sports figures. So we're going to talk to him about that and some of the things that he's been going through. So without further ado, Larry, if you wouldn't mind saying your last name for everybody.
I don't mind at all. Thank you, Mary, for having me. The correct pronunciation is four syllables. It's Klukaszewski, but my friends call me Clue or Larry Clue, and I just recently retired from teaching art, so my
Oh,
students call me Mr. K. So yeah,
okay.
there's ways around it, but I do love my last name.
Yes. Well, let me ask you a question. So, where were you teaching?
I taught at Kiski area at the intermediate level, grade
Mm.
7 and 8, and I taught art there for the past 9 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very nice. Yeah, I think that's an awesome profession to be able to teach art.
Oh,
You know,
certainly, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And prior to that, I was elementary, so altogether
Okay.
28 years in my teaching career. So God is guiding me down a different path right now.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? We always have new openers. You know?
Yes, for sure. And I wanted to thank you, not to interrupt, but I wanted to thank you for having me on. And I viewed some of your own work. It's beautiful. You're very
Oh, thank you.
talented, and
Oh,
I've been able to see some of your other interviews with other artists. And you have the pleasure of meeting with some very wonderful people.
yeah.
I happened to catch a little bit of the interview with the two young ladies, and the one gal's
Yeah.
name was Kirsten. I remember that because I have a good friend, Curdy, and
Uh-huh.
the portraiture that they both did was marvelous. So
Yes.
what I'm trying
Yes.
to say is I'm happy to be included among your talented artistic friends.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's been really a lot of fun. I've been doing a lot of people. Well, basically, I've been focusing on Pittsburgh. I
Mhm.
had prior done just random, but I thought Pittsburgh is a great city with a lot of talent. Why not focus on people here? So
Certainly, I
yeah.
agree with you.
So this time around, I've been doing that. So. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun and a lot of interesting people. And Susan, I think is her name Susan Werder and Kirsten.
Yes,
They have a show that is in Braddock. It's in
yes.
Braddock.
Hmm.
So I'm hopefully going on the 23rd to see it because I think they're there till the end of April.
Yes, please tell them that I remarked about their work. It
I
was
will.
beautiful.
I will. I thought they were pretty interesting, and they were a lot of fun too. And
Yes,
I really enjoyed it. Well,
absolutely.
Ed Smart is here. He didn't ask any questions yet, but Ed Smart is from Hawaii, so
Oh
he's
wow,
one of my followers, and he's a member of my channel. So, um,
wow.
yeah,
Welcome.
he comes all. Yeah, I know Hawaii. I wished I was there right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, tell the viewers just a little bit about your background and how you became an artist.
Sure. Well, I've been an artist my entire life. I'm the youngest of eight kids,
Wow.
so there's a joke in my family that to keep me busy when I wasn't out in the field and in the street playing sports, my family kept me busy through doodling and drawing and little creations like that. And my dad, and he has since passed, but and he would never admit it, but he was a bit of an artist himself. He was always doodling with us as kids, and that really began my love and inspiration. And moving forward, I had a lot of wonderful teachers. I went to such a small Catholic elementary school that there really wasn't an art curriculum the way we view it today, but I did have some very loving and caring teachers who made time for art class, and they would work it in as they were able. And so I learned so much from them. And on into high school, I had a wonderful art teacher, and uh, I proceeded my studies. I knew I was going to teach. I wasn't sure that I was going to teach art, but as a backup plan, I took a lot of studio classes in college. So I graduated with a concentration, almost a minor in art. And then when my public school had an opening, I got my butt back to the classroom and certified myself to teach. And
Oh,
so I've been creating my whole life. I've been a
yeah.
sports artist my entire life, because when you grow up in Pittsburgh in the 1970s, as I did, sports is all around. And
Yeah.
I
Those
just
were good years.
yeah, they were wonderful years.
Uh,
And I had older brothers. They would get Sports Illustrateds, and I would read those things cover to cover and try to mimic and draw all of the athletes. So that's pretty much how it began.
nice, nice. Well, I got to say hello to Alec. He's here.
Okay.
Now,
Hello.
where Alec lives, I have no idea, but I know Ed lives in Hawaii. Hi, Alec. Oh, hi, Diana. Now, Diana and I do a thing on Tuesday, which these last 2 weeks I haven't been able to because I'm working on a book for my daughter,
Oh,
and
congrats.
we do a collaboration on Tuesdays,
How nice.
and yeah, so she's partially well, not totally blind, but she has some issues where she was also a teacher.
Okay.
So,
If
but
I may
she's
ask,
amazing.
if I
She's
may ask, what is the topic of the book?
Oh, it's a children's book. We've done, let's see, I think 4 books now, and, this one is kind of well, I was gonna work on one for Christmas, but all of a sudden she put another one in there, so I have to
Okay.
and I don't wanna talk about it because I don't think she wants me to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't want
So
to spoil any surprises.
yeah, and I have to get it done by June. She
Wow.
gave me a
God bless you.
deadline, and she publishes through Amazon, which is, you have to have 72 pages in these books, and I think for
Okay.
a child's book, it's kinda ridiculous, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so, it's I've been trying to get all this done, so it's
Yeah.
been a
I,
little
I
hard.
I did that a few years ago. I published a book a few years ago, so I know the crunch with deadlines and
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
commitments.
I think I saw that. That was a sports book, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, on my
Okay, yes.
friend Rocky Blyer.
Oh, cool, you know him.
Yeah.
That's I saw some pictures, and I also saw the one with Tony Dorsett.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
He
Yeah.
he owns some of my work as well.
Yes, yes, I saw that, and they were very nice. Hi,
Well,
Casey.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, really well, that's I wanted you to talk a little bit. I have these questions, but I mean, it's probably gonna go off because once I start
Oh,
giving
hey,
the other
you do your
information.
thing. It's so nice to be here. You do your thing, and you run the show, and I'll try not to screw things up.
Oh, you won't, you won't. But anyways, yeah, so how did you get involved with doing sports figures and being able to, you know, I guess rub elbows with these guys?
Sure. It began when I was teaching elementary school, and I started drawing some sketches for my children just as small gifts.
Oh,
And they sort of remarked to me that it's something maybe I should explore. And I always shake my head and smile, because it's usually the teacher speaking faith into the students. Meanwhile, this was sort of the other way around, and my little sixth graders were saying, "Hey, Mr. K, why don't you do this as a side gig, a side hustle?" And so I did, and I literally, if you can believe it, my sports art career began selling sketches out of the back of an old 1989 Blazer, Chevy Blazer.
wow.
And I would look for a spot in town where I could set up shop. And friends of mine who owned a restaurant allowed me to sit in their restaurant parking lot one very cold December. And I sold a bunch of artwork out of the back of my Chevy Blazer. And this was just about the time that the internet was taking off,
Uh-huh.
and I began social media networking, and I set up a website. And it just coincidentally happened this way, that my friends and I, sports lovers, tried out for a Steelers trivia challenge show on KDKA.
Oh,
And during the course of the interview, you had to talk them into why you should be on the show. And I said, well, I proudly proclaimed I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers sports artist. And they said, well, when you come down, if we invite you down, would you bring some work? And I said, certainly. And I brought some work with me. They enjoyed it. I did a piece for Bob Pompiani, who I did not know at the time. I just did a simple portrait sketch of him, and I gifted it to him, and he loved it. And we've been
Oh,
friends ever since. And
uh-huh.
he pulled me aside after the interview, the taping, and he said, "Hey, how would you like to be on the Hines Ward show?" And I said, "Hey, let's go. That
Oh,
sounds good
wow.
to me." So I ended up doing some work for Hines Ward, and of course, there's guests on the show. So I couldn't show up with something for Hines Ward without having sketches for the other participants. So I did some work for James Ferrier. He and I became friends, and I ended up doing a lot of his charitable golf outings in
Mhm.
Virginia, which was a real fun time for me.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it's the power of social media. It's the power of God. Just
It's
everything fell into place,
yeah.
right time. And I've been blessed ever since. And I can't move forward without saying that my family has been so wonderfully supportive because we've juggled so many things, my wife and I, raising kids, and they're grown now, of course. But my family always allowed me to take the time to sort of hone my craft, so to speak. And so it was just a circumstance of a wonderful set of circumstances that culminated
Yes,
in what you see today.
that's wonderful. Well, so is there any other type of art that you do, or is it basically just sports figures?
I basically stay in my lane with the sports art. However, when I taught school, of course, we would do some landscapes. We would do a 2 point perspective.
Okay.
We would do your basic Bob Ross type paintings,
Oh, is that
and
right?
of course, yeah, of course, and
Speaking
those.
of that, it's so funny because I had gone to Carlo and I almost minored in art.
Okay,
I didn't get to minor in it because I wanted to take care of my kids. I was a single parent at the time,
okay,
and I decided to like take some classes up at the community college,
yes,
CCAC, because I live really close to the South one. And there was a girl in this class, and it was a painting class. And that's the first thing. I want to draw like I want to paint like Bob Ross. With a
hey, who doesn't?
teacher.
Yeah,
There's no Bob Ross here, and it was like she was just so upset, that she couldn't do that. But
yeah.
it's kind of interesting that
Everybody knows and loves Bob Ross. I got
yeah.
him behind me. I got a tribute shelf
Oh, I
behind me.
see. Well,
Yeah,
my daughter for Christmas, I don't know if you could see this, if I bought me
I
this.
can. That's adorable. Yeah,
My little Bob Ross. So I keep him on my desk.
that's
But
wonderful.
yeah, so but I actually did a class with the William Alexander who taught Bob Ross.
Sure, yeah, he was,
So
he was one of the pioneers, of
yes,
course.
yes.
And
So
your landscapes are beautiful. In fact, I was going to ask you, do you work in oil? What is your medium of choice?
mine is acrylic.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's it's beautifully rendered for acrylic. It looks oil, so
Oh,
I'm paying you a high compliment for sure.
well, thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I used to. Well, I was doing pastel for a while, and then I saw too many people getting sick from the pastel, so I decided, well, I think that my most safe medium would be the acrylic, so
There you
that's
go.
why I kind of
It's
stuck
worked
with
out
it.
for you.
Yeah. So and what is your medium?
Mostly acrylic.
Acrylic.
I do Prismacolor. I do some
Mhm.
watercolor. I've taught myself some airbrush. I don't know if you can see the painting behind me. It's acrylic in the figure, Jerome Bettis, but there's some airbrush in the background.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
so that actually is a painting. I
that's a
wasn't sure.
painting.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's
beautiful.
one of my
Yeah.
pieces behind me.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, did you meet Jerome Bettis too?
I do a lot of work for Jerome Bettis. Yeah. I'm
This
trying to
guy
think.
is amazing, I'm telling you.
There's I don't know if you can see this, and I'm not seeing very well. I
That's
apologize,
all
but
right.
here I like to dabble on items of sports
Oh, yeah.
memorabilia. So there's Jerome holding a that's
His,
a helmet that I painted
helmet.
for him.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so that's acrylic
Mm,
on the side of a helmet, and
very nice. Very
here's
nice.
this is acrylic on the front of a jersey. Jerome and I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, yes.
I
Yeah.
know there's glare with the
Yes.
frame. I apologize.
But that's okay. We can see it. We can see
Yeah.
it. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
his foundation and my foundation, I don't want to say we partner, that's too strong of a word, but my little foundation will help his via the artistic creations that I'm able to whip up, so to speak, and then
Mhm.
we'll auction them, and the proceeds will go to the Bus Stops Here Foundation, which helps at-risk children. So
Mhm.
I'm actually I'm going to be helping him out in May again. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Well,
he and
oh,
I do
go
a lot of fun things.
that's cool. Well, now, like, you have your foundation as well, so tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, that's something that just sort of evolved. I had a little business, little sports art business, probably since I was in my late 30s, and I'm going to
Mhm.
be 52. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with a rare cancer, and it was at that point that I wanted to get involved helping other cancer fighters. And so I just made a decision to take my little sports art business and convert it into a full blown 501(c)(3), and it's been wonderful. The community support, again, my
Mhm.
family support.
Mhm.
Folks have just gotten behind me, and my main goal is to help with funding for my specific cancer, which is called paraneoplastic syndrome. It's so rare that nobody has ever really heard of it. And I've done a lot of research, and there's really only one local organization that helps fund folks with this type of cancer. So I help cancer fighters in general. But I really want to zero in on folks who have PNS, which is what I have.
Mhm. Mhm. Now, I guess this doesn't go away. I mean, it gets controlled, but it doesn't
Yeah, that's a good way
doesn't
that's a good way to describe it. There's no known cure, but
Mhm.
it's manageable. It's fortunate that I was diagnosed at young enough of an age that I can fight it very well.
Mhm.
Had my diagnosis come later in life, maybe the result would not have been as positive. But I try to I fight it with everything I have, and again, I'm blessed. I have wonderful support, and I'm treated by the. I truly mean this. I'm treated by the greatest doctors and nurses in the world. I go to the cancer center in Wexford every three
Mhm.
weeks. I'll be there this coming Thursday and Friday for my immunotherapy, and the staff there. I mean, I've been going there for 3 years, so you're kind of like family. And
Mm,
my
yeah.
nurses there are the best in the world, and the doctors. So I'm blessed. I
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
have a real good fighting chance, and people that look at me, they don't even know I'm sick.
Well,
So
yeah, yeah, I mean, to look at your pictures and things like that, you must work
thank you.
out.
I do. I try. Yeah, I try.
Yeah.
When I have good days,
Mhm.
I do. Yes,
Mhm.
and thank you. I appreciate that. So it's
Yeah.
every day my feet hit the floor. It's a good day, and I'm not planning on going anywhere
Mhm.
anytime soon. And I've got the
That's
love and support of my
awesome.
family and so many
That's
wonderful
awesome.
friends that it's a
Yeah,
blessing. It
it
really
is.
puts a new twist on life, and it gives you a new perspective, and it
Oh, it does.
really helps you count your blessings.
It does. It does. That's my dad had lymphoma,
Oh, okay.
and
Yes.
he was older, but you know what? He survived that for 14 years.
See, look at
So,
that. That's
and he was
amazing.
older. I mean,
Yeah.
he found out the day he retired. He found out he had cancer,
Oh,
and he was 62. So,
okay. So he
yeah.
lasted 74. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he lasted quite a long time, and
Rest
back then,
assured.
I mean, it was, it wasn't, the techniques for the cures
Sure.
and things have gotten
Sure.
so much better, but,
Yeah. Yeah. And
mhm,
speaking of lymphoma, I wanted to give these kiddos a shout out. I was involved just on a very small level with a group of Kiski area high school students who formed a team for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I hope I didn't get that backwards. LLS, but their team's name was Team Wish, and they were one of the regional leaders in raising money for that disease. So we had a nice little dinner a few weeks ago, and
Oh,
they honored me as one of their fighters. And
nice.
if any of them are watching, I'm so proud of them.
Oh, very
You
nice.
know,
Yes.
I had them when they were little kids, and they grew up to be
Oh,
these wonderful,
it's nice to
charitable
hear that.
charitable people. Yes,
Yeah, that's nice to hear. That's
yes,
really nice to hear because, like, sometimes you wonder about kids today, so
yeah. Oh,
it's nice
these
to
are
hear from
wonderful kiddos for sure.
nice, nice, very nice. Well, let's see now. I guess I can get back to some of the questions because
Yeah, hey,
it's
go for it.
interesting.
I'm just enjoying chit chatting with you.
Yeah, it's
It's like
nice
we're
to
sitting at
be
the coffee shop.
yeah, it's nice. Well, that's what an interview should be, relaxed and,
Of course, yeah.
so well, let me ask, what is, some of your inspirations, like, or is there a particular person that you, um like an artist that you really adored or not
Yeah. Oh,
adored, but you know what I mean, that
too many to name. Well,
yeah.
first and foremost, because I taught elementary school for so many years. This is my guy here, Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, okay,
This
yeah.
is I taught at an old country school that
Oh my
unfortunately
goodness.
closed. It was over 100 years old, and this was one of the library books that was getting tossed out, and I've had it
Oh,
ever since. Yeah, I'm a bit of a Leonardo buff and expert, if you will. But in terms of sports artists, if I mentioned any contemporaries, I would leave somebody out. So I guess I'll mention some inspirations from when I was a kid. Like I said, I grew up in the '70s and the '80s, and there was an NFL artist by the name of Merv Corning, and he was definitely an inspiration. Chuck Wren was another artist from the '70s, and here's a name. I don't know if you'll recognize or not. His name was Leroy Neiman, very flamboyant, impressionistic sports artist, made a cameo in Rocky 3. He was the guy with the handlebar mustache. He was the ring announcer, and he painted a lot of the Rocky versus Apollo Creed portraits. Well, anyway,
Oh, mhm.
Leroy Neiman was invited to a sports invitational that I was also invited to show at in Indianapolis a few years ago. And I thought to myself, this is so cool. This may be a chance for me to meet a childhood inspiration. And so I said to my wife, I'm going to drive to Indianapolis if you don't mind. And so I drove to Indianapolis. And unfortunately, he was in his 90s at the time. He was unable to attend. But I tell
Oh,
everybody, hey, my work was hanging with Leroy Neiman's work. So anybody in the sports art field knows who Leroy Neiman
well,
was.
Diana said she remembers him.
Yeah, yeah, very impressionistic style, and I think the reason behind that was because, don't quote me on any of these historical facts, but I believe he was to fund his art career. He was a kind of like a maintenance man, janitor type, and he would actually go into the closet and borrow, if you will, some of the paint, that belonged to the facility that he was caring for. And I don't know if he had to paint quickly because it was one of those deals or not, but he was discovered by Hugh Hefner of Playboy,
Oh,
and
wow.
again, right place, right time. This was in the '60s when
Mhm.
that magazine was, I guess, just evolving, and so that's how he got his big break. He started doing work for that magazine. Not that I know anything about that magazine. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Okay.
going from Wikipedia and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I understand.
gotcha. I just want to make that clear.
Okay. And, Marlene had a question here.
Sure.
Let me see.
Yeah.
She said, she is asking, "What keeps you going?"
In terms of artistic inspiration, or
Well, I guess
fighting my
yes, I guess
disease, or
yeah, maybe both.
yeah. I just I see people in life who face so much adversity, and so many different challenges, and they fuel me. They inspire me. My family inspires me because I've been so blessed. I have three wonderful kids. My lovely wife Renee,
Beautiful.
so many friends and families. My
Mhm.
two of my three
Mm.
kiddos are grown school teachers themselves, and my third
Oh,
is in college to become a school teacher.
oh, wow.
And I want to be around for them.
Yeah.
And I just I'm always I'm always looking for motivation. I'm a big quote guy. I'm a big inspirational video guy. I'm always on YouTube watching stories of people who have overcome. And even though there's not a cure for my disease, I want to be the guy who just fights it to the end. With
Mhm.
everything I got. There's I'll screw this up, but there's a quote. By Irma Bombeck. Speaking of quotes, here I'll probably screw it up, but I think she was a writer. I don't know anything she wrote, but I
Mhm.
had her quote on my desk, and it says, when I get to heaven, if I get to heaven, I want to say to God, everything's gone. I used everything you gave me, every last ounce of talent. I emptied the tank. It's like, coaches say to their players, leave it all out on the field. So, when at the end of my life, I want to say, hey, that guy gave everything to teaching. That guy gave everything to charity. Not everything, but that guy did a good job for charitable funding, and that guy did
Mhm.
everything with his artistic ability. So I just, my dad used to say, be all things to all people.
Right. Right.
Do what you can do. And one last, I'm sorry for the long-winded answer, but one
No,
last
that's
quote. Roberto Clemente, the great Clemente, used to say, if you're not using your talent here on earth to make the world a better place, you're wasting your time, because we were
true.
all put here for a reason. So if I can
Okay.
aspire other people to fight the way other people inspire me to fight, I'll view myself as a success.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very true, and that's why I think, like, since I retired and not being able to do things, it's killing me. So I mean, I'm trying to do what I can do, but it's just because this COVID just kind of scares me a little bit
It
because of
does,
my
yeah,
age and everything. You don't want to get sick, especially
surely,
from something like that. And then,
surely, yeah,
I mean, I've known a few people that passed away from it, so
yeah.
you just want to kind of, yeah. Oh, Artfully Blind said, yeah, Irma Bombeck's one of her books was titled "The Grass Grows Greener Over the Septic Tank." Well,
There
I
you
can
go.
understand that
Hey,
too. That's
I
kind of
did not
logical, right?
I did not know that. So hey, you learn something all the time. So I guess I wasn't too far off. I mean, I knew she was a writer, but thank you for the input.
Yeah. And Casey Gorman, he said hi. He was one of your former students.
Yes, yes, Casey, a young lady. Yeah, she's in high school now, I believe.
Oh, it's a
Yeah. I had her older brother too, Dylan.
okay.
Yeah, wonderful family. Hello,
Aw.
Casey. And beautiful, wonderful artist. Speaking of portraiture, we did a lot of portraiture that year. I would teach the kids the old Renaissance ways of grid drawing, scale drawing, and she did a tribute of her brother for her brother that looked exactly like him.
Oh
So
my goodness.
hello to Casey, and I'm glad she remembers. And
Oh,
um,
that's so nice she stopped in. That's nice.
it's very kind.
Yeah, yeah. So now do you ever have like a creative block? And how do you overcome it?
I do, yeah.
Mhm.
I do. There are times where I know I need to get things done, and I can't seem to get moving. But there's see, I'm really proving this quote thing. But here, here's a quote that echoes in my brain, and I'm not a huge Picasso guy, although I find his life very very entertaining and interesting. But he used to say, let's see, I hope I don't screw this up. Inspiration comes, but it must find you working. So
Mm,
to me, that means that if you get your butt into the studio and force yourself to work, then you will feel those creative juices flowing, if that makes
Mm.
sense. And that happens to me all the time.
Mhm.
I'm very deadline driven, and so
Mhm.
if I have a deadline coming up, I'll procrastinate for a little while. But when I get my butt into the studio and start working, I really I don't know if I work well under pressure, if that's part of it or not. But once I force myself, then you really start to get into it, and I'll show my wife my work, and she'll say, "Wow, you really crank that one out quickly." And so deadlines are wonderful motivators.
Yeah,
So
I get that's what
that
I'm under
that
right now.
that's what cures my creative, artistic blocks,
Uh,
deadlines.
yeah, I mean, I've had deadlines, for my working days, and but I always manage to get it done, and that's
That's right.
something like
That,
true.
that's the
And
bottom line. Yep.
yeah, I mean, I kind of am laid back now a little bit, which is kind of scary because I was never like that, And there's days where I just don't feel like looking at art or doing or, and
Yeah.
then you
Well, you've
have
earned
days
that
where
right.
yeah. Well, I just would like to be able to do it every day, but it's hard. It's hard to do it. I mean, I tried there for a while to do
Hmm.
something every day. Well, I've
Hmm.
been working on this book, so it's like an everyday thing, but
Yes. Yes.
yeah, it's just ugh.
I know. We've all been there. I had a professor who committed himself to do a small painting every day for a year straight.
Oh,
And he
wow.
did it. Yeah, he did it. He would
Wow.
tell me that there were times where he was so busy all day, and he would get home dog tired, but he would force himself to go to the studio for an hour, even if it was an hour's worth of work. He did
Mhm.
it 365 days
Oh,
a
wow.
year. And I want to say there was another local Pittsburgh artist, Penn State guy, phenomenal artist, Tom Mosser. And I think he did a portrait every day for a year, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken, a few years ago.
wow.
Yeah, I remember checking that out on social media. So, it is
Yeah,
possible. I've never
yeah.
attempted it. If I pick up a paintbrush several times a week, I figure I'm doing okay.
I can only, like, spend, like you say, an hour, I have, like, back issues, which keeps me from, like, doing things like
Yeah,
I'd like to. So,
yeah,
now Diana, she's been getting ready for a couple different things, and she told me a few times that she's, like, worked 12 hours for one day, and I'm
yeah,
thinking, "I don't think I'd be able to walk
yeah.
after
That's a
that,"
lot.
I don't you just wonder how, I mean, that's a tough one.
That
That's a
is a
tough
tough
one.
one. Yeah, my school kids used to ask me, "Mr. K, what's the longest you spent like in one sitting?" And I did 14 hours one time for a
Oh, wow.
deadline. And I was, speaking of back issues, I was just coming off of neck surgery, and I should
Oh,
not have been in that chair that
yeah.
long, but I had a deadline that I had to commit to. And yeah, I did 14 hours. Those, when you have to do something like that, that sort of takes a little bit of the enjoyment out of it. So I try to avoid that type
Yeah.
of
Well, that's
situation.
how I mean, for me, that's how it would be. I think I wouldn't, wanna do it anymore. But
Right.
I had my mom who, I was getting so frustrated at one point with my artwork and not being able to, like, get attention with it. You know how you hit that? And, I was working on this one painting, and I've told this story, and probably everybody on here knows my story, but except Casey, because we don't know each other. But,
I don't know the story, so go ahead.
yes, that's right, and you. So I was doing this in pastel, and, this was right before she died, honest to goodness. She never saw me finish the picture or anything, but she told me, "Whatever you do, don't give this up," because it
Oh,
was starting to shape up.
yeah.
So, I continued to work on it, and that was my very first painting that I ever got an award for,
Oh, how
which I
nice.
was really I said my mom, she knew
And
what
how
she was
special
talking
that
about.
it was connected to your mom.
Yeah, yeah, so
Yeah,
now,
that's
my
that's
art
beautiful.
room is in her bedroom because I used to have her
Oh,
with me taking care of her and stuff. Because
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah, yeah,
That
so
truly is. Yeah. And my mom had remarked to me one time, she was speaking about an individual who had much talent as a photographer, and my mom was such a positive person, and she did not say this in a mean spirited way, but she said, you know, there's an individual that I really feel like perhaps took some of their talent to the grave, and that really stayed with me, in
uh,
terms of, you know, again, using every last shred of talent that you humanly possess. You know,
yeah,
if God gave it to us, you know, we might as well use it
that's it. I mean, it's a
to
gift
good
and
benefit.
yeah, it's a gift. We work hard at it. I don't think it
Yes,
ever
for sure.
came easy. I don't think anything ever came easy for me anyway,
No,
and,
it's a
people think
grind.
it's so easy, but you work at it. It's
Right.
something you work at, you know? So,
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
yeah, so let's see. So you said you mostly use acrylics, those are your mediums and,
I do,
uh,
yeah. I mean, I'll do
pencil,
watercolor. I'll do
watercolor.
straight up pencil sketches. I'm trying to think. I threw some stuff together. There's
Yeah.
straight up number two pencil graphite.
Oh, beautiful.
It's
Oh,
TJ
wow.
Watt. Yeah. So every once in a
Nice.
while, I'll just you know, there's so much I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, purity, or, you know, simplicity, and just you know, a straight up number two pencil. So
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, you know, I don't rule
Yeah.
out simple basic sketches. In my children's book, one of the things that I wanted to share with my kiddos at school, because at the time I was teaching K through 4, just little babies, and I said to them, I want to prove to you that we can take the simple, everyday tools that we have here in our classroom, and I want to show you that you know, I can utilize that to make a polished children's book. And so that's all I used was just watercolor, graphite. You know, they probably weren't
Yeah.
even real good colored pencils. They were probably like the Crayola
Sometimes
crayon
people
color.
use those a lot. They
Yeah,
like Crayola.
yeah. So I use the basic little kids supplies, and you know, I just wanted to show that you, whatever, you know, do with what you have, and do your best, and things will work out.
Exactly, exactly. Well, Larry, it has been such a pleasure talking with you. It's been
Oh,
so nice.
thank you.
It's really been interesting. Oh, one more question. I saw
Sure.
that you did a I did a painting of Sid Crosby,
Yes, yes,
and
yeah.
yeah. Now, did you get to meet him too?
Yeah, I've been able to meet Sid a
Okay.
couple of times,
Uh-huh.
and the Penguins were so gracious that it's sort of a sad tale here where I live. There was an officer who died in the line of duty. His name was Officer Brian Shaw, and I had been contacted by the by friends and family who were setting up a memorial scholarship fund in his honor, and they had asked if I could donate some artwork, and I said sure. And I originally thought that they wanted me to do a portrait of him,
Mhm.
and what they wanted me to do was a local sports hero, and we met, and I said, well, let's do Sidney Crosby. I had met him one other time prior to that, and long story short, I did the painting, and Sid was able to sign it, and it made 10,000 for the. I don't know if you could see
Oh,
that.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
picture of Sid
Yeah.
looking
He's
at the
holding the
painting.
picture. Yeah.
Yeah, so it
Nice.
I don't know if I have these figures right, but I think to train a police
Mhm.
officer, it's about $2,000 to $3,000 to put them through the academy.
Mhm.
And so I figure with that one painting, you know, we were able to help train 3 officers
Yeah.
with the funds. So
Yeah.
that was something that was just so near and dear to my heart. So each and every year there is an event with the Memorial Scholarship Fund. Here's a larger version of the
Oh, look
painting.
at that. Oh, wow. That is
And
awesome.
yeah,
That is awesome.
he was such a gentleman that
Mhm.
First of all, I told him I'd save the jersey for him to sign, and I said, you can sign it as large as you want. And he said, I don't want to be that guy. And I said, I think you can be that guy. You've earned that right, you know. And I tell everybody this story because it's true.
Yeah.
What a gentleman he is. I sat through practice, which was like 2.5 hours. And after practice, he's always the last one to leave the ice. So I waited an extra half hour while he and Tanger and coach talked strategies. And I did not know I was going to watch practice. So I was literally in a real thin shirt and a pair of shorts. And I was frozen because I was down on the ice. And so I'm carrying this painting into the locker room to meet him. And he had no idea I was coming. They just said, you know, can you sign this for such and such a cause? And so he spent a good bit of time with me. And I told him the story about Officer Shaw. And I learned that had he not been a hockey player, he had aspirations to be a first responder himself.
Really?
And it was a lovely conversation. And just one last thing I'll say about that whole thing. As I was walking down the tunnel, of course, he didn't know I was coming, and I was carrying his painting, and I didn't mean to overhear his conversation, but I did. And he was talking to one of the gentlemen who cares for the ice. I don't know if he was the Zamboni driver or what. And Sydney was saying to him, you did a great job out there on the ice today. It was so quick. It was so fast. You know, thank you. And I thought to myself,
Oh, wow.
here's this guy, you know, this world famous superstar, and he's talking to one of the arena workers like they're best friends. And that just, that stuck with me. It speaks to what a kind gentleman he is. Yeah. So it's, you know, I have a
big head
I have a head full of memories for sure.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful story. Yeah. Well, my daughter will enjoy that part.
Yeah. I'm very glad.
Her husband might not, but she always liked Sid.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, everybody loves Sid.
I think all the girls like Sid, you know.
Of course. What's not to like? Yeah.
Yeah, really. So, well, thank you, Larry.
Oh, the pleasure was mine.
Great. I'm so glad to do
I
this.
can get such a nice sense of what a kind person you are. So I thank you for your I thank you for this great honor of sitting down with you. And
well, I think it was more my honor being able to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad we had the honor of meeting each other. Let's just say it that way. And God bless you for all that you do to help local artists. And you have such a wonderful channel. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to say to you was I was so impressed. I did not delve into it as much as I would like to, but your little lessons, your little painting lessons that you do on your channel as well. That's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I haven't done that for a while.
I caught a little bit of the pig painting lessons. So
yeah,
it was quite nice.
So nice. Yeah. Because I like art so much, and I thought once I got out of college, some of the little things that I would do is like teach at Michael's. I worked for Grumbacher, and then I went to Packetans. Well, they closed, and then I was doing some work at Hobby Lobby before COVID. And I thought, you know what? Why not just do it on YouTube?
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't been able to do that much because it's so hard to stand for a long period of time. And it takes a couple hours to get something done. So at least for me. So
well, you did a great job. The little bit that I saw, and I want to go back and watch some more. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you kindly, and I wish you all the success in the world moving forward.
Oh, you too. Well, you're pretty successful, but it's always nice to have more, right?
Well, this is true. The more success I have, the more I can help people.
That's right.
I look at it that way. Yeah. So thank you for the opportunity, and you know, till we meet again. I won't say goodbye. I'll just say till we meet again.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you again.
Take care. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
And thanks everybody for stopping in. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.